Okay, so this is a sort of a cut-free fix for a 407 heater flap. So what you typically do is you'll go in down under the footwell, and you'll basically cut near this lower servo shaft. You'll cut a hole out of there in order to get the flap out, repair it, put it back in, re-glue it all back in. Still got to take all the sort of glove, sorry, not the glove box, the knee airbag if you've got one, or the fascia, and you need to get both of the servos off. So you'll see there's a lower servo and there's an upper servo there. The upper servo has to be removed, because if you don't remove that, you can't move the top flap out of the way through the top vent. So what you've got to do, in addition to that, you've got to take your stereo out, because that will give you access to the screws in order to get from the stereo up. You'll take this plate out, and you'll get the two screws there, and then this top vent comes out. Right, so what you typically see when you do that, when you look down through the flaps, you've got, so there's the passenger flap that side, and then you've got the driver's flap that side. So these are like the, I don't know, they're like diverting flaps to take the air up or down. But with those there, you can't see the lower flap, because they're designed to seal that airflow off. So if you take a bit of metal rod or something, you've taken the servos off, don't worry about the position of the flaps, because your passenger one on this side shows you the position you've got to get it all back to. Yeah, so put your metal rod down there, and then you can push that flap out the way. Okay, right, this gets tricky to show you because there's not a lot of light, and on a phone camera it's almost impossible to show this, but I'll see if I can show what I've done. So when you look down into this heater box, now that's the top flap is the let's see if I can show you. No, I can't show you. You can see the top flap that's been taken out of the way. You can see the lower flap, and it's got some epoxy on it and a Jubilee clip. So 10 to 15 mil Jubilee clip. So normally what will happen is that'll break relatively cleanly, that shaft. Mine just went sort of a diagonal break about 2 centimeters long. If you just put something in there to sort of prise the crack apart, and then if you get a magnetic telescopic grabber with your Jubilee clip, you can hold on to that while you put it down into there, and you'll rotate it into position and hold on to it with the magnet. Okay, and even if you drop it, you can get it back out again anyway. Okay, the critical thing is the way that top flap operates. We can get back to it. How the hell is it? The way that top flap operates is it rotates almost back onto that shaft itself. So when you put your Jubilee clip on here, you got to make sure that the head of it is away from where that flap's going to close onto, the top flap. If that bolt was the other side, it's never going to seal properly. It'll still work probably, but you're not going to get a decent seal to divert the air down, basically, or up. Can't remember which one. Anyway, so what I did is just make a little tool up. It's just a bit of stainless rod. I just ground a spatula sort of shape on the end of it. That'll allow you to just put a little bit of epoxy onto the crack. You don't need a lot because that Jubilee clip's going to do all the work. But put a little bit of epoxy on there, spread it in the gap a little bit, in the crack, just before you put the Jubilee clip over. Okay. The other thing obviously you're going to need is, in order to reach that Jubilee clip, you could probably use a long screwdriver, but it's a lot easier to use a ratchet. So this just a load of ratchet extensions joined together with whatever it is, 1/4 inch bit on the end. If you put tape on all the bits you're joining to, there's no danger of it all dropping off then. Yeah, and then just ratchet it out while that glue's setting. Yeah, job done. I've just taken it all apart to do a video because I didn't do one at the time. But this has been going fine for about 3 weeks now. So hopefully that will help somebody. Obviously you've got to put everything back. It's a little bit more work, so you've got to take this fascia off, but if you know what you're doing, it's like 5 minutes work. So anyway, I hope that helps somebody. Cheers, Em.